Hello everyone. We will be going through the registration module in this session. The registration module has three basic components. First, to be able to register a new patient. Second, to be able to revisit a patient. And third, to be able to edit a patient's details. To go to the registration module, type in the URL and log in using your username and password. On successful login, the following screen appears. Click on Find Create Patient on the navigation menu. What you see now in front of you is the patient registration screen, and it is on this screen that the patient's first registration will take place. All the fields that are marked in asterisk are mandatory and must be filled in to proceed further. Let us start by putting in patient's details. The first field to be filled in is the patient's name. Now, patient name has two mandatory fields, surname and first name, that must be given to the system. But along with that, a given name and other name can also be stated in the system. After the name is entered, the next option is age or date of birth. If the exact date of birth is known, the user can choose the exact date by using this calendar, or can enter the age in the following format: 26Y for years, 26M for months, 26W for weeks, and 26D for days. Once the age is entered, we move to the next field, which is gender. Now we also see that the date of birth is self-calculated by the system according to the input that was given. Then choosing the marital status. The next field is to put in the physical address of the patient. The county and sub-county by default will be chosen by the system itself. Then we put in the contact number of the patient, the email address of the patient, also please note that contact number and email address are not mandatory fields. In case the patient does not carry a contact number or email address, then we can proceed further without even filling in these. The next is to put in the next of kin information, wherein the user must enter a relative name and relationship type as mandatory, along with the physical address, contact number and email address of the next of kin. If the physical address is same as above, this box can be checked. Now a unique identifier will be self-generated by the system. The next information that is filled in is the nationality of the patient. The user can choose any nationality from the drop-down. If at all other is chosen, the system will ask the user to specify the nationality. Or a nationality can be just chosen from the drop-down itself. After that, the system will ask the user to put in the national ID, followed by the passport number. The next option is to put in the patient category. If none of these category is chosen, then the patient by default is registered as a general patient. But if we choose any of the free categories, the system will prompt in the user to put in the exemption number. Or if NHIF card is chosen as a category, then the system will prompt in also to put in a NHIF card number. Or if waiver case is chosen, then the system will prompt the user to put in a waiver number. And if none is chosen, then the patient will be registered as general by default. The next option is to put in the temporary category if there is one. Now if I check on the box near MLC, the system will prompt the user to put in a specific temporary category for which the patient has come to the hospital. If there is none, the box can be unchecked. The next option is to put in the visit information. Now as a practice, the patient from registration will go to the triage, which must be specified at the time of registration. So then OPD triage or casualty triage is chosen as visit information at the time of registration. Whichever triage is chosen here, the queue of that patient will fall in that triage. Along with that, referral information, where the patient is referred from, the referral type and description of referral can be chosen. After filling in all these details, the user must save the details. There is another option which is reset. On clicking on reset, the entire screen will be resetted for the user to fill in all the information again. But after once it's filled and the user is satisfied with the information that is filled in, the user must save this option. On clicking on save, the system will proceed to the next screen wherein a printout of the cash receipt can be taken by clicking on the print option, or the user can just be saved in the system without giving a printout by clicking on the save option. So this is how a new patient is registered in the system. Now the next part of the registration module is to be able to revisit a patient who has already been registered once in the system. To do so, log in as you logged in before and click on Find Create Patient on the navigation menu. In the box of surname, the patient identifier or the name of the patient can be typed in like this and hit on enter. The system will start to generate a list of similar patients, or if the patient identifier is typed, the exact patient can be spotted by the system. Now the system says there are two patients with a similar name. Click on show hide like this, and then you will see the entire list of patients that has been shortlisted by the system. Now say I want to revisit the second patient whose name is Odenby Thomas and whose relative's name is Emma Watson. Now to revisit that patient, just click on the name of the patient or the identifier, and the screen will be redirected to this screen wherein a patient category is to be chosen. This is because every time a patient comes to the hospital, the category of the patient might change. Say last time the same patient was general, but now the patient is an HIV case. So then a patient category will every time be chosen the patient visits the hospital. If any exemption category or waiver category or a card holder category is chosen, the system will prompt in to put in the exemption number. And also prompt in to put in a registration fee. By default, for all exemption number, the registration fee will be 0. The second important thing for a revisit patient is to choose the triage the patient will visit, which can be chosen from this drop down. and also a temporary category if there be one. But choosing a temporary category is not mandatory. What is mandatory is to put in the patient category and the triage room the patient must visit. After putting in these details, the user will click on Save to save in this result, or click on Print to save as well as give a print out of the cash receipt. By clicking on Save or Print, the patient is successfully registered as a revisit patient, and this patient's name will fall in the queue of the triage for which the patient is registered for. Now the third most important functionality of the registration module is to be able to edit a patient's details. To do so, log in as told before and click on Find Create Patient on the navigation menu. Type in the name of the patient and click on Enter. Or if the patient's identifier is known, the identifier can be used in place of the name of the patient and therefore get to the exact patient. Now click on Show Hide like this. The list of similar patients start to appear. Click on Edit on the left side of the patient identifier and the following screen appears, which shows all the information that is previously fed in the system for that particular patient. In case if any information has to be changed, it can be changed at this place. Say the contact number of patient is changed, so the contact number can be edited, and the user must press in Save to save these details, or press in Reset to completely reset the entire screen and to fill in the details all over again. On clicking on Save, the new details of the patients will be saved and the old details will be overwritten. On clicking on Save, all the details are successfully saved in the system and the screen is directed back to the patient registration screen. So we saw registration is basically of three parts, where we saw how to register a new patient, how to revisit a patient, and how to edit a patient's details. Thank you.